So let's open up the open session first here before I forget, and then there we go. Open up that. Let's get going on the lives. Get this part started. Yeah, and any of you guys who have some questions and stuff, we could dive into it deeper once we get into the afternoon session on that. So
After session.
the after session. Yeah, we can't call it afternoon.
Yeah,
Johnny's
yeah.
like, afternoon, it's like 4 in the morning. All right.
There's nothing worse than trying to trade and then answer, sort of questions relating to something entirely different. That'll throw everyone off.
Right.
Don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy. And I tell you, I love look at the watch this. I'll show you. I mention this each day, but it's so cool, man. I love the upgrades they've done on some of the AI stuff where for like images and stuff. And so look at the one that it made me today. So I just pushed it to consolidate after this bullish push. It's so cool. Like the coloring that it does and the detail and stuff is pretty fun. I don't know what that one's all about. Interesting. I must have loaded something different on that one. Oh, that was the Asia session. That's why. Yeah. Interesting. Interesting. Morning, guys. Got TikTok on, so we're just letting people pile on in. Let me let up the YouTube. We'll see where this market wants to do. Oh, it's showing upcoming. Why did it not? Oh, because we didn't. That's why. That's right. I forgot about that. Let me take that one down. Because remember we were gonna do it and then we didn't. We ended up staying only on the mentor side of that. I didn't do that one. So let me get that one out of there. There we go. Now it's gone. Perfect. Alright, so I'm gonna open up that. Good morning, guys. So I got the YouTube up. YouTube. Alright. Gonna be a wild one. Let's go ahead and why did we put this 819? I think I did that. Was one of my lines we were playing with. I'm like, what is this line here? Okay. So let's take that one. We'll put this one back on. Let's put this one back on the 1 minute. And we'll get all dialed in. Man, look at this. Nothing says consolidation, then purple trap boxes everywhere. This thing look like it wants to just go. We got 15-minute Lisma squeezing down. Gonna be an interesting open. The funny thing is we're channeling like crazy. I'm gonna mute the flow one. See the channel, but just refuses to break it. This 809 that we marked. Let's clean up some of this from yesterday. This was interesting too. Like yesterday, Asia, we had that drop at the end on the earnings, and then we channeled like crazy. And instead of doing what a lot of people probably thought, the bear flag, like we were talking about, you know, in the Asia session. Um, it ended up doing the opposite. It shot back up. What a fun market, guys, right? All right, let's delete all that stuff. Let's delete, I don't want to clear all my lines, so let's just manually delete these. So anything blue is always going to be Neo's levels that he called at one point or another. So we'll delete all those out. And let's get some new levels from this guy here. So, morning, guys. Welcome. All right. Good morning. Looking at the market, what are some key levels I should be marking on my chart? Let's see what he says.
Good morning, Nick. The market is currently playing a game of who can be more indecisive inside this 60-minute order block, so keep your levels tight before the coffee even kicks in. With price at 29,939.00, your immediate upside breakout trigger is a hold above the active leg high at 29,944.00 and the prior high at 29,946.50. If that clears, watch for expansion. On the downside, the breakdown trigger is a hold below the active leg low at 29,908.00 and the order block low at 29,907.25. The gamma wall near 29,902.85 acts as retest support, but I would not call it a structural bounce unless price rejects properly there. The major gamma wall near 29,824.85 is extended context, so do not bank on it for an immediate scalp.
Up 824. What's funny is it's not really that far away, but yet he called it extended context. He might be listening to you, Cody. You're over there convincing him that we're just going to the moon, aren't you? He's like, that's extended context. Me and Cody have talked about it. We're never getting there. So,
That's right.
like,
That's supposed to tell everybody.
To the moon. Yeah, I think, let's see. So we got 44, 4650. Put that 4650 for now. And then we got 39, which is pretty close. But we'll mark it anyways. All right, 39. And we got the 824. Good deal. He didn't give us anything above it. That always, anytime he does that, that always is interesting. He called all this down here, but nothing above it. Very interesting. Um, Good deal. All right, guys, welcome in, welcome in. I'm just watching the TikTok counter. Once it gets a little closer to the 100, and then I know they stop me, so then we can go. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one. We did a little TA in the pre-market, and you know, I'm sure many of you are thinking or experiencing the same thing. Many in the mentor program are as well. And that is just being super not nervous or arguably cautious of any shorts. So, my only devil's advocate for you is we're very bullish. I'm not against people being cautious of taking shorts up here. I would just recommend that if you're going to take longs, you don't want to just take breakouts because we are very overbought from many time frames. And so, if you want to stay more long to stay within the trend, you just want to either let it pull back a bit and then find support and then take your long, or you want to let it break through something like a high like that, wait for the support, and then take your long. So just wait for some kind of pullback because we were way. If you look, I don't put a ton of weight on it, but I'm always still aware of it. If you go to our 1 hour, we're sitting still, you know, right around 27 or so. so we're really overbought still. 4 hour we're sitting at about 30. 6 hour you're sitting at about 27, and so um, we are very overbought, but we're still, no matter how many times it tries to act bearish, it tends to jump again. And so you gotta, yeah, all right, to the moon, kid. And so we gotta, kind of expect that. And so as we open, if you look at it right now, it's an interesting open. I want to see what Neo says because we closed somewhere in here. Then we aftermarket kind of pulled a bit, and then we leveled out, and then Asia opened somewhere in this area here. Asia just bought it, EU just sold it, back to where Asia was. 4 a.m. reversed it. It's all normal, Asia buying, 2 a.m. reversing, 4 a.m. reversing. It's a normal session thing, and so, but at the end of the day, we're not far off from where we were, but we are green, and so. Um, we'll lean on Neo for his guidance and his levels. So as you guys have seen, he does pretty phenomenal with it every day. Now that we're getting kind of full in here, so I think most people are getting on in. If you're wondering what we're doing, we're trading the Nasdaq futures contracts. I'll be trading the MNQ1 exclamation up here. I use 2 time frames, 15-second and 1 minute. And we're going to use Neo, the AI that our company created, to help validate some lines and stuff. So if you go to our website at nextstepalgo.com, you're going to see Neo, which is the AI across our whole site. TradeVision is what we're going to be talking to. So when you first come into the website, you're going to see these little blocks here. TradeVision is there. You just click on it. We do a 3-day free trial if anybody's interested or intrigued. When you come in, you just you're going to go through and do the free trial, which will be a button kind of down here that's red, and then it'll unlock. To use them is really easy. You just click on start, and he's going to come in and talk to you.
Hey Nick, ready to roll? Let's see if the market can actually do something besides chop around today. What's on your mind?
Ready to roll. All right. When you're in here, pretty easy. There's no settings, no data, nothing to connect. You just choose what you want to do. So you select your symbol by clicking there, and then I have favorites that are selected, but if I wanted to trade, let's say gold, just put GC and you can choose your gold. When you type it, you just want to make sure you click that actual symbol. Once it's populated there, then you can begin. So we do the MNQ, and so I'm going to have it on that. We do have enhanced languages if you prefer another language, and we do have response time. So I usually keep mine on quick during open. Quick is good enough for trading. Detailed and all the longer responses is when you're more in the education side, when you want to ask about stuff and get, because he will work on development with you and things like that. So the personalities, that is the fun part of it. So institutionals, for people that want to cut through the extra stuff, institutional is going to be the best one for you, or beginner, if you're new. And then the funny, sarcastic, and uncensored seem to be the favorites because that's where he's going to crack his jokes. So I used to have him on sarcastic, but I found out really quickly that funny is just as funny as sarcastic without the insulting you from time to time. So if you're on sarcastic and uncensored and he gets a little sassy pants in the morning, like like I know Peg and some others said he was, then if you enjoy it, hey, keep on rolling with it. But if you want to lessen the sassy, just go to funny. So I've enjoyed funny, because it I think trading is very uh it's always very emotional, and we get tense, and just the way that it works in trading. So sometimes it's nice to have them crack a little joke, right? Just to take that edge off. So but again, this is all web-based, guys. You don't have to set anything up. You just go to the website and talk to them. If you are wanting to see what it's all about, if you go into their website, this is our left kind of panel pane. There's a lot of stuff in here. If you click on trading videos, this goes to all of our YouTube videos that we have. So if you want to see what he did each morning, then you can click on that. So I try to title them where you can see it. So, you know, you have open session is open session. If we do Asia, there's Asia. We do have a search in there. And so if you were wanting to look up something like interest rates, you can click that and then it'll pull up the ones where I've titled it with that. So, which one do you click on? Open session or TradeVision? Well, Cody, it depends on that. So remember on the website, so there's two different things that you'd mentioned. So if you want to come into our Google Meet, which is over here, then you can click on open session. That is where you would click that, and then that would open you up. If you want to do the TradeVision, then that is Neo on that. So that's the TradeVision. So, and we color code them. Anything that has the green in there is what you want to focus on, the green. So, one other thing I'll go into, and then I will jump into things in TA, is Neo AI session. So this one is one that we do for free. So anybody can watch this. Just a stream. You got every 5 minutes. He's going to give a market update. He's going to give you reason, concerns, long and short entries. 100% free. You know, you have to put a credit card. So anybody that's just looking for some kind of guidance from the Nasdaq, we wanted to give a free option because I want people to be able to pass their stuff and try to get their payouts right, so that way you can earn to use some of the other tools if you need it. But we're going to be talking to TradeVision. So those on TikTok, just be patient with me on questions once we get started because we will be live trading. Yesterday I didn't lean on Neo as much as I have in the past because I knew it was going to be a little wild. So I was kind of fully expecting a little bit of crazy. So I mean, today might not be too much difference. So uh, we'll talk to him and ask him about his levels. We're gonna see
Hey Nick, I'm ready. Let's see
what the
what this
plan is
market is
here.
trying to do today. What's on your mind?
Yeah, let's see what it's doing. So 9:15 is usually when I try to start my TA, just to give everybody time to get in. So I got a bunch of lines on my chart. I'm gonna do this kind of quickly. I do mine, and then I let Neo give us the levels. So there's a few things that we're looking at in the pre-market. So clearly there is a lot of similarities to what we did here with the explosion with what we are doing now with a possible explosion. So a lot of similarities. For those who've been following for a bit, last week when we were here on kind of Wednesday pulling down and we retested that high, I had said be careful on your shorts because we are just a larger time frame retest on the prior high, and that usually is going to push up. My first expectation was a push up to retest these levels, and once we started to get these hammers or absorption to the north with the closes above, told me we get some expansion. Now, I will tell you guys yesterday, I did not think that we would just continue through a lot of resistance that we should have rejected from. And so when we came up through here, this was kind of our market open yesterday. And as we were pushing in, remember I cautioned that we had this trend line, we have these prior highs, we even had this 382, you know, the orange line there, which is basically just measuring retracement from the high to our low. And all of those should have had some form of rejection, and it didn't. It just blew through it like it wasn't even there. So that kind of should be enough to tell you that we're going to get pretty good expansion. So now it's where it gets a little trickier because we are approaching our prior highs that they're just going to be critical, guys. Absolutely critical. And so 30,077 is what we agreed on to put that line. We have a lot of resistance here, bunch of support from within. So we hit 1, 2, 3 times, and it's literally the line that began the catalyst down. So as we approach that level, it should get a little bit of resistance. But I'll tell you, if we get above that level in here, I would anything above the 30,077, I would not try to short that unless you reclaim back below that because the levels of how high it could go could be nasty. What I would love to see today, ideally, would be this, do this maybe, and then push up hit our fib level and then lose that, and then I can take that short. Would be a really good play if it can do it. So it will not let you pick a plan. Have you done the free trial? I have a few minutes so I can kind of help you. So when you come into the start there, and then you click on the Neo, the TradeVision, and then you should have something that looks like scroll down a little bit. Yeah. So uh, what you do is once you get on the page, just scroll down a little, and then you'll see the two options, and then you should be able to click on the plan. And then when you click on it, it should ask you to add a card if you haven't done one. You just add the card, and then you can subscribe to it. Okay. And then once you add the card, let me if you can't get to it, also because we got a little bit of time crunch, if you click the question mark here and then just make a support ticket, put in your reasoning and send that, and then I'll have your email. I can take a look at it. Yeah, no worries. I can multitask pretty well in between. So if you get that support ticket in there, I can log in as you quickly and see what you're seeing on that. And so, and then in the support ticket, just let me know which one you're trying to get or to look at, and then if I need to, I can kind of help you push it through. But yeah, no worries. Are you on the phone doing it or the computer? We have a little time because I'm just kind of looking at the clock here, but just let me know. But yeah, like I said, I'll look out for that ticket if you end up getting a chance on that. All right. Good deal. Let's put that back. Okay. So again, the thing about today is you have to play whatever your experiences and whatever your emotions will let you do. So meaning, there's some people in here, even in the mentor program when we talk about that, they're just like, I'm not shorting this. No chance I'm gonna take it short. But I'm okay with that mind, the thought process, I guess. But if you're going to tell yourself, hey, we're really bullish, I'm not shorting, that's fine, but you have to let things pull back or push and pull back. And that, because you're buying at almost a full extension of a pivot. And so can we go higher? Of course we can. But the risk of a retracement is a lot greater right now. And so when we push from here, if we pull this all the way down to that low, your 50% is somewhere around here, 160. Even the 618 that lines up perfectly here is 360. Even to come back to the 786, right, is 619. So it's pretty decent drops from within that because it was such a big move north. So my recommendation, as always, keep volume manageable. The market is wild, and we'll just lean on Neo for what we're gonna do. So, guys, one other thing on the Neo side of things, when you are leaning on Neo for guidance, there's a couple things I like to point out lately, and that is, we'll put this back on. That is the fact that you're gonna hear him say a couple things. So any blue line that I have on here, that is Neo. That's the line that he gave me. That's important. When he says I need a break and hold of something, that seems to be the more confusing part. So I use two time frames, 1 minute and 15-second on that. So if I, let's say, have a line here that Neo gives me, and let's say we get a candle close there, the 1 minute candle close above that line to take a long would be what he says. When he says he wants to see it break and hold, if you take that same line, I'm not going to make it perfect, but around there. If you take that same line, that's where I use the 15 seconds. So if the 1 minute closes here, I want to see, does the 15-second have a candle that pulls with absorption like that? Because that's telling me it's respecting it. That would be your 1 minute candle close with your hold. That's the best way to do that on that. So getting a little pre-market move here. So but keep an eye on that when you're watching his levels. So we did ask him about some levels already. I found it interesting because he only gave us 946, and then all the levels were below that he gave us, which tells me usually he's potential. This analytics guy, that's so funny. All right, we'll just go ahead. Okay. I love people that can't trade and come on and mock people that trade. So that's why I just blog them. I don't have time to entertain people that are stupid like that. But all right. So we'll go in and let's start talking to Neo. So we got 5 minutes left. I just wanted to check in with you 5 minutes before. What is the areas or levels that we should be watching around here? So we will get some levels again, confirm them, and then we will, about 2 minutes before, we'll ask him the old famous question of where is he going to send the
holding its
price?
breath inside this order block, which is just fantastic for everyone's stress levels. If you are looking for a long, buyers need to reclaim and hold above the 29,929.00 midpoint and the active leg high at 29,950.00 to prove they aren't just bluffing. If that happens, the prior day high at 29,956.50 is the next hurdle. On the flip side, the short triggers if price breaks and holds below the order block low at 29,888.50.
Alright, so
The
56.
institutional reaction level at 29,849.85 is your first target, while a confirmed loss of the 29,833.75 major support structurally invalidates the bullish idea. Keep it tight. Chop City is a real possibility here until one side actually commits.
Okay, so he has 888. We got an order block down at 888. So I always like about 5 minutes before the open, I like to ask him the levels because they tend to line up close to what he does with his where he thinks they'll sweep. And so and then we have another reaction level at 49. We'll put it at 50 because it's close enough. And then we have 833. Confirm loss of the structure invalidates any idea. Yeah, so we'll put this one. I'll leave that one there for now. All right, guys. So we got another minute, and then we'll ask him. I'd like to not get too close to market open when I talk to him about it. So. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let me go to the minute just so I can watch the ticker here. So we're getting pretty close. A little sweep south to get a little sweep north. I think it's funny he said that we might be gearing up for some Chop City. Chop City. Again, guys, I'm just waiting. Usually about a minute and a half. I don't like to do it too early because if I do it too early, then the move that he already talks about sweeping kind of already happens. And so I like to give it a second. Look at this push though. Alright, so 3:15 seconds. Alright, so 2 more. Good deal on that. Alright, let's go ahead and check in with this here. Okay, we have the market open for the US session here in about a minute. Where would you send this price to wreck the most retail traders if you were running this book? Let's see what he says, guys. Get your limit order set. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it should be a good day.
If the market were looking to ruin everyone's day, which, let's be honest, it usually is, the setup is looking pretty ripe for a liquidity sweep. Right now, the breakout chasers are piling in to get long above the active leg high at 29,948.00 and that prior day high of 29,956.50.
Yep.
If price sweeps above those levels and then fails to hold, that's the classic trap.
So the
market gets to suck in all that FOMO liquidity before slamming the door shut on their fingers. On the other side, if the market decides to flush lower, sweeping below the recent low at 29,895.75 and that gamma wall at 29,902.85 would likely trigger all those tight stop losses, trapping the shorts
So
right
this
before
is
bounce.
our area
It's
he's talking
basically a
about.
toss-up between trapping the greedy bulls or the panicked bears, but either way, I'd wait for the sweep and a failed reclaim before trying to play hero.
This is NASDAQ futures. MNQ1 exclamation is the one I'm charting. So let's see. He didn't get, he mentioned about possible consolidation. He did talk about that he would, the first move was that he would push it through. This is the part I want to talk about, and we do have not a lot of time. We'll see the ding, ding, ding here. But when he says push through and fail to hold, if we fail to hold that, that's going to give the sweep down. If we end up holding that, right, then it's going to sweep back up. So, but his belief was that if we fail to hold, which we just tapped and held, so we'll see, then we'll go back down from that. So let's watch and see what this wants to do. So we got the sweep. So if we get any kind of pull through close here, that'll pull it to that 895 and then likely sweep that low and then decide if it wants to continue down or sweeping up. So let's watch through. We'll give him about a minute just to make sure he gets his institutional data, and then we'll get that update from there. So we're getting that pull. So let's see how this treats that absorption. If we get any absorption and a push, it's going to go again. If we get a pull, see a little absorption, close right there. Let's see. So let's check and see. Now that you have your institutional context updated for the US session, where are all the gamma walls we should be watching? And what are the institutions doing, buying or selling? The one you're watching for to go below is the 29,956. Anything that
The
stays above that,
institutional
it's going to
playbook
expand.
looks like a total mess right now. The bias is supportive, but the flow is showing sell pressure, so they're basically fighting
Still
over the
showing sell
remote
pressure.
control. That's exactly why we're just grinding sideways and making everyone miserable. For your gamma levels, anything above current price at 29,974.86 is overhead reaction and resistance, including those bigger walls up at 30,124.86 and 30,298.73.
Oh, wow, 30,124.
Below us, you have reaction zones at 29,902.85, 29,849.86, and 29,824.85 acting as potential support, but don't treat them like concrete foundations.
Damn,
They're just
298.
areas where the market might decide to stop and catch its breath. Also, don't get too comfortable. We have ISM services PMI hitting in about 29 minutes. Expect the market to get twitchy and probably try to fake everyone out before then, so either keep your risk painfully tight or just grab some popcorn and wait for the smoke to clear.
Do we have oh yeah, we do. Do we do? Yeah, 945. So we're getting that loss on there, guys, from that pull. So that's the 956 that he was talking about. Sweeping this, getting the loss of that, sweeping the low. So we'll see if we get that full low sweep down to the 900 he talked about. We want to look at this kind of how I do it. I'll take this pivot, the high and the low. This is our 50. So if it hits here, then it could jump again. So be careful. But if we get that pull through here and get that closed, then it's going to do the drop. So we'll watch and see. But again, if you took a quick opening scalp, don't overtrade it. Like I mentioned all the time, we want to make sure we get our levels all straight here. So no. Current price. Okay, so we got those levels, the 902, 849. We got that, and then we got the 824. Yeah. Okay. Good deal. And yep. So Neo does have SPX, but for now I'm on the Nasdaq. So you could check out Neo for the free trial and do that on your own. You just go in there and type SPX, or you can hang out a little bit. So we usually go through and trade for about an hour. So see that 50% hold that it is trying to do there. So let's see. The interesting thing to me is we have a lot of levels he talked about lower, but look at the look at the extended context of these ones up higher, which is wild. So, all right. I always like to give him a minute and before I get into a trade setup, but gotta love the old purple block here. Okay, I got all my lines all set up. Can you give me a long and short setup?
The market is currently ripping. News is 26 minutes away, and you want to play
I
both
appreciate it.
sides. You definitely like living on the edge, Nick. For the long, I would need price to stop acting caffeinated and reclaim 30,004.50 with a 1-minute candle close. If that sticks, the first target is the 30,053.75 measured move. If it dips back below 29,997.00, that's your first warning, and losing 29,946.00 is where the bullish party officially ends. For the short,
There's the
keep an eagle eye on that 30,024.86 gamma wall. If price hits that and decides it hates life, look for a rejection close below 29,990.00. That gives you room down to 29,946.00 for a target. Reclaiming 30,024.86 is your warning, and if it blows through 30,053.75, the short thesis is structurally toast. Just a heads up, ISM Services PMI is in 26 minutes, so either keep your size small or just grab popcorn and watch the volatility show from the sidelines.
So it's interesting. So his short, he's saying if it gets to the 24 and then it comes back and gets that close below the 90 is where he would look for the short. Like that. And so with the target of the 946, which he had this one at 56, but we'll leave it at 56. All right. So we're coming into that 90. This is a big candle as we have a nice absorption play. So getting a little sweep. Again, I'm heavily expecting all the way up to about somewhere in here to have a lot of resistance. So be really careful on your longs. So there's the short below the 90. I don't know if anybody jumped in. That thing moved really fast. So mine is triggered and trailing. So 902.8. He did have some levels down here, the 850 and 845. So I want to look and see. Okay. So that was a quick one. Anybody take the? No, and guys, you know in the mentor group, man, isn't it funny how much this happens? It loves those round numbers, man. The market hates round numbers, guys. 30,000. So when we sweep it and we lose it with that kind of absorption, this is what happens. So I would just be really careful because I'm gonna tell you we had 2 days in a row of just deep extension, continuation type trading, and so if you are coming into today expecting another continuation type day, just be careful. You know, we got to consolidate or accumulate it at some points. You know, and so we might just get a little consolidation up here a bit. But let's see. That short played out really well, so we broke above that 304, but we didn't hold it on the 1 minute, and we broke back below the 290, hitting that lower target. Now that everybody took their profit, where do we see price going from here? So for those new to Neo, I'm just talking to him on the microphone, and then I send the little blue button, and he's going to give his response from the data he analyzes.
Nice
So
work
we did
taking
get
the
a
profit.
push with a
Always
low.
better to pay yourself before the market gets creative. Right now, we are stuck in a bit of a deadlock between the 29,945.32 institutional resistance and the 29,895.75 structural support. Basically, the market is playing hard to get until that ISM report drops in 22 minutes. If we reclaim the 29,945.32 resistance zone, look for a test toward 29,990.75. If we break below 29,895.75, we're likely heading down to test the 29,824.86 institutional support. My advice? Don't be a hero right before the news. Either tighten up your stops or enjoy the show from the sidelines while the market figures out its personality.
Okay, so he was talking about the 895 breakdown for the short. We'll ask him again as we kind of push through here. If we reclaim 945, we would look for the test of the 290, which we already did. It's market open, so these things are going to happen really fast, guys. And so we already did that. The nice thing is you can see this is his low, this is his high, this is our range. So if you're one that loves top and bottom, that's your range you play until one of them break out. Because US is going to move pretty fast on that. So it's funny to see US session, those targets are hitting so fast. We're kind of in the middle of the range. If you had to choose based on the data, structure, institutions, everything you can see, would you lean more bullish or bearish as of now? And what would be your line in the sand? Let's see what he says. Getting a nice little push after that pull.
If I had to choose a side in this funhouse, I lean bullish because the structure and flow are actually playing nice together, but price is parked right in the
They're
middle of a
playing nice
range like
together.
it's waiting for a bus. The line in the sand is the 29,974.86 support gamma wall. As long as price defends that spot, the bullish thesis has a pulse. With the ISM report looming in about 20 minutes, though, I would be surprised if the market
So
doesn't
let's
try
make
to
this
trap
one,
anyone getting cute before the news hits.
we'll make
I
that
would
one
wait for
teal.
that dust to settle before trusting any breakout, unless you prefer your account to look like a sad emoji after a news spike.
Sad emoji. So this is his line in the sand, guys, 974. So anything that breaks and holds above that, he's leaning more long. Anything that breaks below that and holds, he would lean more short. So it's just messy right now. You know, we're just, like I said, we're accumulating pretty strong, which is expected. Now that price is pushed up again, what would be a decent level for a short? Would you want to wait for it to get below the 974? Again, if I have thoughts, I just ask him. Just keep talking to him. And he's going to help you. But it's moving very fast, guys. 940. Again, we're just consolidating. So those top and bottom traders are killing it right now.
Shorting this while the market is on a bullish bender with ISM news lurking 19 minutes away? That's a great way to donate margin to the volatility gods. 29,974.86 is currently acting as major support, so it's not a short trigger yet, it's a floor. I wouldn't even think about a short until price loses that level, fails to reclaim it, and proves sellers actually have a pulse. For now, I'm staying out and letting the news wreck someone else's account.
Okay. And so, again, that's his line in the sand. You know, we have our range. He gave us kind of an upper, lower range, if you will. So you can see the 53, 54 area down to the 895. And we're just kind of ranging from within. So looking at the structure, you guys can see we had our push. We had a nice little retracement, kept a higher low with some absorption up, pushed up, held our 50, expanded, holding the 50, trying to expand again. So if at any point, something we were studying a lot in the mentor portion, and I've talked about a bit in the open sessions, is my 3-tier pushes. And so you have 1, 2, and then this is the third. If this third one gets weak expansion and reclaims the low of the prior one, that's where you get the deep drop from within that. So we'll just kind of keep an eye on what the candles are doing here. Again, if you guys are joining in and you've never seen him before, this is Neo, our AI. We're just talking to him. So in about 10:30 usually, I'll wrap up and then we'll answer a lot of questions. So you guys stick around if you have questions as to what we're doing here. So. With the price pushing so high like this, I would imagine it's probably better to wait for pullbacks before you take longs. If we were to use that theory today, what would I want this to break and pull back to, or pull back to now before considering a long? Again, if you got a question, you just ask them, guys.
Waiting for a pullback makes you the smartest person in the room, which is a low bar when everyone else is busy panic buying into the stratosphere. Since price is at
He said it's a low bar.
30,032.50, I would look for a retreat into the 30024-30025 gamma support area, which also lines up with an order block. If buyers defend that zone and price shows a hold or reclaim, then the long idea is worth considering with a first target at 30,124. A confirmed loss of that 30,024 area is your structural invalidation, but with ISM news dropping in 17 minutes, I wouldn't marry this trade
Yeah, we do
unless
have
you enjoy
news, guys.
watching
He
the
keeps
P&L
repeating, so be
perform a
careful.
magic disappearing act.
Okay, so we got the push on there. If we can break through here and hold that as support, we'll get the deep expansion to the 125. As it pushes through here, remember I was telling you 1, 2, 3, any kind of break below this high that pulls through, and that low is weak expansion, and you'll get a deep drop. So just be careful. My plan today, guys, I know might shock you, is not really to be long. So I'm more interested looking at shorts because of where we are. But it's very bullish structure, so you got to be very picky about that. So if you're one that loves to just keep riding this momentum, just let it pull back a little bit, like how we're doing here. Get a pullback, get a doji, close above, push, hold that low, and then take that. So similar here. If you're trailing, great. If you're not in a long, you want to take a long. I either want to see this push through this, tap it as support, hold, and then take it to there with the stop loss below there. If we end up hitting here and rejecting through, from there, you want to see another pullback with a tap with the reclaim of these levels. Remember, with Neo, the most important thing of the entire thing Neo talks about is going to be his levels. So now we're getting that secondary push. So let's see if we expand. So now that we got that little pull, we can take something similar like that. It's really easy to use. If we get that close below 27, it's going to sweep pretty hard. Anything that bounces here will reclaim up pretty hard. Seems like they're defending that 30,053 area like crazy. Does that seem to be something you expect them to heavily defend, or you think we'll crush through it? Let's see what he says.
Defending like crazy is usually just the market's way of saying it's terrified of the ISM report dropping in 14 minutes. That 30,053 area is basically sitting right under your session high of 30,059, so it's less about a grand institutional fortress and more about sellers trying not to get run over before the news hits. If you're betting on a crush through right here, you might as well light your margin on fire. The only thing likely to crush through those highs is news-induced chaos. I'd keep an eye on the 30,124 gamma wall as the real overhead obstacle.
See
But
how it's
honestly,
holding.
the only smart trade right now is letting the ISM news decide
It's
if the
trying to
market
hold
wants
here.
to go to the moon or the basement.
Yeah, we'll see what that news does here. I think the news was yeah, 10. Yeah, and the 9:45, yeah, and 10. So we're in a news area, guys, so be really careful with your volume. News can help push this further through all the technicals it needs to get through, or it can really dump us down. And so that's why he's going to keep warning you about it. So he does have the economic news tied into his data, and which is nice, you know. So he's going to keep reminding you. So we are kind of hugging. Again, remember, like I was telling you guys, I love to do just quick little measurements, and we're holding the 50. That's all we're doing. So if we get that push and that close below that, then should get a decent pull. If we take also our fib, I'll bet you we'll go from the low to the high. Yeah, so we're at the 236. So a sweep back down to the 30,010. So if we lose that 382, then that's where we'll get that pull. Again, for those who missed the early on read, this area here, 3077, is going to just be nasty resistance. If we break through that with just ease, man, how high this thing can go. Now, if we break through it and we lose that, it's going to be just so critical, guys. So while we're waiting for this to decide on the news here, this is the charts. And so you can look at it. When we had our inverse head and shoulder, we had our 3-tier drop break that we talked about for the expansion. Usually it's going to test these highs. If it can't break those highs, we're going to get a decent pull from it. But if we blow through those highs, I mean, it's just, there's just not a lot stopping it. And so you got to be really careful. We're in a kind of a make or break spot for this bullish push here, which is why it's interesting to me. I want to see what the news does, because the news is going to either be the catalyst that breaks the old camel's back or pushes it through that area on that. But let's see. Yeah, so we got news still in 12 minutes.
Have you asked him if this is institutional buying or something like that? Maybe you missed that.
I think he said it was selling. Let me see. Do you still see the institutions as selling as we approach the news?
Quick correction. My data actually shows institutional flow trending positive with buy pressure,
Ooh,
so
they're
they
flipping.
definitely aren't dumping the bags yet. They are likely just holding their breath until the ISM report drops in 11 minutes. We are scraping up against that 30,074.3 institutional resistance level, which is exactly where the market likes to tease traders before it blows the doors off in either direction. I would save the drama for after the news. Chasing an entry right now is basically asking for a news-induced headache.
Yeah, if you wanted to do longer moves, he's AI. You just tell him that you want to do longer moves. So, someone on TikTok here was asking if you can help with longer plays. I just wanted to validate. If somebody tells you they don't want to take a long or short, or they want to look for entries with targets that are above a certain amount of points, say 50 or 100, that's something you can help with? I want to ask him that purposely while we're waiting. See the rejection. I'm telling you that 3077 is going to be... This news is either going to shatter through it and we're going to the moon, or we're going to reject off it like a nut. So be really careful. Very
Absolutely.
careful.
I map the same structure, liquidity, and invalidation regardless of the time frame. Whether it's a quick scalp or a 100-point structural ride, the process doesn't change. Longer plays just require a lot more patience in the stomach to let the thesis breathe while the market tries to shake you out. Just don't tell your TikTok content that setting a 100-point target doesn't magically make the trade work. The chart actually has to agree with you. With ISM news 10 minutes away, the only thing longer right now is the line of traders who are about to regret entering too early.
But in all fairness, we need traders to think like that because somebody has to be the liquidity, right? I like to tell him. So again, guys, he's actually, it's true AI. He's
You aren't
gonna,
wrong.
you can talk
The
to
market
him.
treats retail like an all-you-can-eat buffet. The goal is simply not to be the guy on the menu when the ISM report drops in 9 minutes. If price starts sweeping local structure, wait for the trap to spring and see who actually gets stuck before you decide to put capital at risk.
Let's do the question again right before the news. Let's see. Just for fun, as we wait for this news to play out, can you do your best impression of a retail trader that tries to trade the news? Let's see if he'll do it. It was pretty funny the one day he did it. It was he nailed it.
Okay, let me channel the inner Wall Street warrior for you. Adjusts imaginary
Wall
headset.
Street
All right,
Warrior.
I've got 40 contracts loaded on a $500 account because I know ISM is going to send this to the moon. Wait, why is it wicking down? Sell, sell, sell. Okay, I'm short now. Wait, it just spiked 50 points the other way? No, no, no. Wow. Why does the market hate me? I'm holding this through the news. I'm a diamond man
Oh my
warrior.
god.
Oh, wait, why does my account balance look like a phone number missing the first 5 digits? And that, my friend, is exactly how you turn a perfectly good Wednesday into a crying session over a cup of lukewarm coffee. Let's just keep our hands off the
Oh
trigger
my
until the news
god.
stop hunts
That's the
everyone
best
else,
what he's
shall we?
done. That is the best impression. Guys, did that relate to anybody? I just want to know.
Has he been watching me or what?
Look.
We got Cody on constant supervision over here.
That was the best retail impression. Guys, did anybody relate to that? Yep. All right. No, that never happens. It's so funny. He did.
Oh, you got black cameras pointing at you or what?
God.
Yeah,
Oh.
right outside my house.
Guys, man, that so what's so funny about that is again, guys, I love him on funny because as you guys know, trading is stressful, man. We want to be play it back again. And you know, we're always so serious and we get caught into the moment, and you know, at times you just need a laugh, man, and that's why I love to do that. But that was the best impression I think he has ever done. He's on that. So the fact that he just said, okay, sounds good, Wall Street Warriors, let me adjust my imaginary headset. I got 40 contracts loaded on a $500 account.
That's freaking awesome.
For those who missed it, not that it will be nearly as funny as when he did it, he said, I'll read it. I'll read the thing to everybody while we're waiting for the news. Okay, let me channel my the inner Wall Street warrior for you. Adjust imaginary headset. All right. I've got 40 contracts loaded on my $500 account because I know the ISM is going to send this to the moon. Wait, why is it wicking down? Okay, sell, sell, sell. Oh, TikTok doing the little puzzle. Are you still there? Yeah, I'm literally talking. Then it says, wait, sell, sell, sell. Okay, I'm short now. Wait, it just spiked 50 points the other way. No. Okay, I'm gonna buy. Why does the market hate me? I'm holding this through the news. I'm a diamond hand warrior. Oh wait, why does my account balance look like a phone number missing the first 5 digits? And that, my friend, is exactly how you turn a perfectly good Wednesday into a crying session over a cup of lukewarm coffee. Let's just keep our hands off the trigger until the news stop hunts everybody else, shall we? So, oh, that was great. That was great. Oh man. Like I said, it's fun to just get a little laugh every now and then.
Diamond hands. That's right.
Yep. Oh man. We had to take a pause here before the news and laugh at that. That was literally the best impression you've done of a retail yet. We applaud you. I like to tell him that because he self-analyzes. So when if you tell him he did something good, you know he's gonna
Glad
retain
hit
that.
the spot. Retail impressions are basically the only thing keeping us sane when price starts acting like this. But take a breath and step back. We are currently restricted due to proximity to ISM Services PMI.
Let's try a different one.
We are
Hold
sitting
on.
right on that 30,024.3 institutional wall, which is a massive trap zone right before a volatility event. I am not touching anything until the newsprint clears and structure gives us a real reason to move, not just a headline spike. Stay patient. The market will still be open once the dust settles.
All right, let's do one more. Hold on. So everybody loved your retail impressions so much. Now do an impression of an experienced trader that knows where the retail is going to put their stuff and what that looks like. You do a little impression of an experienced trader. I've never asked them this one, so let's see. We're just waiting until 10, guys.
Adjusts imaginary spectacles and leans back in the chair with a heavy sigh. Listen, kid, you see these charts? They aren't charts. They're heat maps for where people are terrified. You see that 30,024.3 wall up there? Retail is currently smashing the buy button, convinced that's the breakout of the century. And those stops? They're tucked neatly right under that 29,966 level, just waiting for the market to give them a little haircut. Drops the act. But seriously, impression over. We have 4 minutes until ISM Services PMI. That's not a trade setup. That's a coin flip in a blender. From a trader-facing liquidity view, the most experienced thing you can do right now is absolutely nothing. Let the newsprint, let the retail traps sweep through, and wait for the dust to settle to see if the market actually accepts or just reverses. Don't be the liquidity. Be the one watching them get swept.
And guys, those joining, we're just having fun with them while we wait for the news. So, but I'll put that in there.
Tell Punisher he's got the right spirit, but the market has other plans for the next 2 minutes. We are officially in the no trade zone for ISM Services PMI, so even if we smash through 30,073, the only thing going all the way is the spread and volatility once the data drops. A breakout of 30,073 isn't a free pass to the moon. It needs to confirm with a real hold and follow through, not just a headline spike. Otherwise, that's just another level where the market loves to trap breakout chasers before rug pulling them for fun. Don't play hero 2 minutes before the news. Keep the powder dry.
Yeah, somebody on TikTok said all they heard was do 40 contracts long. All right, guys, we have 2 minutes. I'm just harassing Neo a little bit.
TikTok is a great place for dance trends and questionable life advice, but it is a terrible place for trade sizing. If you actually go 40 contracts long into an ISM Services PMI print, you aren't trading. You're just volunteering to be the exit liquidity for every market maker on the exchange. We are 1 minute away from the news. We are strictly in a no trade zone. The spread is about to widen enough to drive a truck through, and 40 contracts is just a fancy way of saying, I'd like to donate my margin to the broker, please. Sit on your hands, grab a coffee, and watch the chaos from the sidelines instead of turning your account into a liquidation speedrun.
Let's see. With a minute out on the news, where would you send price to wreck the most retail? Yeah, he's been pretty comical today.
From a trader-facing liquidity view, the wreck the most retail play is a textbook double tap. The most obvious retail liquidity is sitting right below the 30,024.86 gamma wall. Everyone who bought the breakout has their stops tucked right there. They'll likely flush price into that wall to trigger the stops, then immediately reverse to sweep the highs toward 30,124.3 to trap anyone who tried to short the breakdown. The path of maximum pain is usually down to kill the longs, up to kill the shorts in about 60 seconds flat. Since the ISM print hits in less than a minute, the only thing getting wrecked right now is anyone trying to guess the direction. Hands off, watch the show, and let the liquidity hunter get their fill before you even think about putting capital at risk.
A little southern sweep. This is a big one. So when we get these southern sweeps like that, or any kind of sweep of the news, when you get this sweep, watch the next candle. The high and the low become critical. So if we break below the low, we're going to sweep pretty hard. If we break above the high, we're going to sweep pretty hard that way. And so again, that 53 is holding resistance as of now, guys. So that 974 was kind of his line in the sand. This type of structure, it's a micro one, but usually when you get this full reclaim with this sweep, if it can create this lower low, then you're going to get a deep low. But if it continues to hold a higher high and breaks the 50%, you're going to get a deep push. So, but normally this structure is supposed to create a lower low, is what it's supposed to do. But if it doesn't, it's inverse. So if we keep the higher low here, we break that 50, then it's going to go up. And so you can kind of tap it like that and watch it from there, somewhere around 320. If it stays below 320, 325, then you'll see a deeper sweep. That's what it should do. So if it doesn't, then now in all arguments, 974 was his institutional line in the sand. Anything above that, he's more long. So what are you doing? My little puppy that I'm babysitting over here. He's my daughter left for the day, and he is like infatuated with my daughter. So he's literally scratching at the door to get out because I'm sure, thinks that she's still there. So see the lower low it creates on that. That's what it's usually supposed to do. But let's see. So now what it's not supposed to do is usually this structure will create a lower low. Then it will try to, at some point, pull up. And so we want to see, wait till you get your first green candle. I would expect, try to get that low. If it gets the low, then it comes up and taps anywhere below that 50 from this pivot. You're going to get a deep low. And so anybody take this short from that read? I know you guys in the mentor group, some of you didn't want to do the shorts, but you see that structure? We've seen this so many times. Like clockwork. Like clockwork. Hey, look at that. TikTok let me over that 105 there. I hit my TP on it, but I missed it. Apparently miscalculated it by $30. I always love that. Let me check. I had a couple accounts short. Let me check on my stuff here, guys. No. So he had 895 as kind of that bottom. So I don't want to set anything lower than that. I think I'm going to deal with the other one here in a second. Let me deal with this one. I had 3 accounts that I was kind of playing with. Okay, I think that one I'm going to wait on. And then we'll wrap up this one. Okay. So now we want to measure it, guys. Remember, anything that is below here is expected to be short. Anything above there is expected to be long. We had talked to Neo this morning. Those that joined late, good job, man. Those that joined late, he said that we're likely going to be in full chop. And so most top and bottom traders, that's where, that's your cue to, you kind of take your shorts from the 53, you take your longs from the 95, until one of them breaks. So your midline is right in there. That's 74. And so we're getting a little push. This push is going to be very critical, because if we push and we reject from that area, so let's pull a little fib play here. So anything that stays below 972, 974, right? A push and a rejection. This is our 50, 88. So if we sweep this and lose this again, that would be your entry back short. If we sweep this and hold this and reclaim that 90, then that would be your long. I wouldn't recommend taking longs until you at least got above this golden zone kind of area within the 74, within that. So, but like I said, for me, I'm mostly short on my stuff just because I know we can go up, but usually after big pushes like that, we do consolidate on a day. So, and we had two in a row. So, we're definitely due for some kind of pullback, but I don't know that we're going to have a deep drop like everybody thinks, because I'm sure a lot of people are thinking, you know, we pushed up, we got to go down, but we don't really have to right away. Now that 377 I know is really critical resistance. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I wanted to look at the structure. So you can see we have a similar structure to the micro one that we just played a little. If I were to go to a higher time frame, let's see how it looks. Kind of. See how they have the push, the sweep. The only difference here is the 5 minutes got an absorption north from an indecision. So that gives you a high-low. You can take the low. If we close below that, we're dropping. If we take the high and we close above that, we're pumping. It's kind of the basics that you can do from within that. So, but this overall structure, the way that plays out, again, you know, a lot of times it tries to create that lower low. So just be really careful, guys. But for now, we're just ranging. So now if you look at the range that we're doing, you can see these are our prior highs. So 988, anything that continues to tap and hold above that is likely going to push. For us to get a deeper drop, I'd love to see it sweep that and then hold that as resistance. And then we need to get below here and hold it as resistance as well. So you're a stubborn little guy. He's sitting by the door looking at me. Puppy setting. All right, so let's go back in and look at the let's see what Neo's got for levels. Interesting. Let's bring it in here. So I say interesting because you kind of got that rounded look, you know, with the little chop, but I just, where it all lines up, I don't like it whatsoever. Let's ask him. Now that we have the news, I know we're post news, but can you give me a potential long and short setup, and did your line in the sand change from your bias? If you could let me know that level. What's up, buddy? Want to say hi to everybody? Hold on. He came up to... He wants to say hi. Hold on. All right.
The ISM news
This is my chaos
just
machine I
injected
deal
a
with.
shot of espresso into a toddler. The market is currently vibrating between 30,024.33 and 29,924.15. So like line in the sand.
Don't let the cuteness fool you.
It's
He
just
is a
whitening into
little
playground
spitfire.
for trap hunters.
Huh.
For the
You
long
got
setup,
nothing but
I need to
attitude.
see price accept and hold above the 30,024.33
Nothing but
down
attitude,
wall with
this
a
dude.
1 minute candle body close. The first meaningful upside target is 30,124.33.
He gets bored.
Failure back
I know,
below
Duke. You get jealous.
30,024.33 is your first
You want to go on camera too?
losing the 29,924.15 primary support structural invalidates the bullish thesis. For the short setup, I need a confirmed breakdown below 29,924.15, targeting the 29,848.04 institutional pivot. Failure back above 29,924.15 is your first warning.
So
and structural
24.
invalidation is a reclaim of 30,024.33 resistance.
So
Since we are post news, trade like you're walking through a minefield. Don't chase. Wait for the level to actually prove it holds.
So
and keep your stops tucked away from the immediate volatility sweep. 24
is what he wants to close and hold for us to go long. He is ignoring the 53 now. He has this one down as 24.15. So we'll move that down. So if we get a break, hold, remember the whole break, close, hold, maybe doji, absorption, close, and then that would be your target. For the shorts, he wants failure to hold the 924 and it's interesting. He says I want a confirmed breakdown. It's almost like he wants it to break 24 with a confirmed breakdown. And then the target is 848. Damn, that's a low target. So let's delete out some of these. I'm gonna move that one up to 848. Up there, got it. Okay, so we're pushing up a little. Let's see how this wants to play.
You originally asked them right before the news. You said he'd go and sweep all the stops at 924 and then send it right up to 30,124.
Yeah, yeah, he did.
I'm still in it. I'm watching.
You're in the long.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I don't know, man. I'm not gonna deal with the longs today.
As long as he keeps holding the 50s on all the 15-second bounces, I'm in it. If it breaks it, then I'll be out.
Yeah, I mean, it's just consolidating. So here's the thing: there's many ways to trade, guys, and I tend to like to lean towards this style of market. I love top bottom, top bottom, top bottom. Deep trending days are not my favorite. If I read them and I've anticipated it, I like it, then I'll do it. So like 2 days ago, you guys know I was in a long shoot for like 500 points. Like 3 MNQ, nothing crazy, but still good. And but yesterday, once we broke through the area I didn't like, I was just like, I'm not touching it. I'll let it go. I don't care. Because it's not something that I anticipated. So if it's something that I anticipate, then I'm good with it. But if it's not something I anticipate, then I typically don't care to touch it. But that's just my plan. Because I like to predict things. If I don't predict it, I don't want nothing to do with it. Usually. So let me check. But right now we're just ranging. So remember, again, for the long, he doesn't like it until you get above the 324. So for your long, if you're in it from the trap block, that's the other thing I love is this, man, this trap block is just, you know.
No, I ended up getting out because it broke
50
range on one of the 15-second legs.
This that I'm charting is the 15-second, guys. So that we're doing.
Got on profit though. I mean, that's
nice.
the point.
Hey, yeah, green's green. For me, can we hit the 124? Of course. I mean, we've been bullish as hell, but I think that 377 is going to be just a big number. So now they may sweep that, tap that, lose that, and then that will set up a really good short. But right now we're just consolidating. So we are doing. I mean, you think about where we open from here. This structure there. Remember, when I was kind of looking at it, guys, I did that pause because we have that kind of down up we talk about with the round, and so we're on the other leg of the round. And so if this thing sweeps again here and then reclaims that, it's going to jump like crazy. Then I'll definitely believe it's going to go to that 124. But as of right now, what I'm watching mostly is if we take the pivot high-low, the 50% is like right there, perfect at the 74. So as long as we stay above that 74, it's going to go up. If we break through the 74, it's going to go down. So pretty standard stuff there. But again, guys, these are days where people want to keep chasing breakouts and they want to just, man, we're going to the moon. Let me throw a long in there. And then you just get stopped out, and then it just absolutely destroys you. And so you cannot come into a market with just a bias of what you think it's going to do without TA to support it. So, and you guys know me, I've had many people come in TikTok and go, we're going to here, we're going to there. And I never just say no, like I don't think so, or no, or I'm going to argue. I just want to know, like, why? Like, why do you think that? And if you can give me some TA to support it, I'm on board. But we are holding that 50% from within. So you got a little higher low, lower high pennant trying to form. We'll see. Looks like we're kind of stuck in the middle here. Any ideas based on all the data you can see which way we're going to break? Like I said, guys, if you ever wonder or you want to know or you have a question, just ask them.
We are currently playing a lovely game of ping pong. between the 30,024.33 resistance wall and the 29,999.33 support. The absolute definition of a range-bound nightmare for anyone trying to force a directional bias right now. The market is basically undecided, and until one of these levels gets smashed with actual volume, trying to pick a breakout side is just donating cash to the spread fairy. If you are looking for a plan, the short becomes actionable only if price loses 29,999.33 with conviction, targeting the
It changed that. Interesting.
29,922.64 support zone. The long needs to see price accept and hold above
With conviction, we're getting
30,024.33 for a
hammers.
shot at 30,124.33. Everything in between is just chop. Don't be the liquidity. Be the one waiting for a real breakout.
I'm just kind of looking here, guys. You can see we're trying to still hold that trend. That's why we keep bouncing where we do. Which is, I mean, as of now, it's still suggesting like it should go up higher. So, but let's see. So it's 24 seems to be his new line in the sand. Can you give me the updated list of the institutional levels? Let's just see if they've changed any on that. He's thinking about that one. Hey, I stumped him. He's still flashing. He's still thinking about it. Let me look and see. Well, let's see. Brooks and Neo. I'm over here clicking on other things because I was working on something. So at times I end up going on a page and it messes them up. Yeah, it's me because I just tested it on the back end of it and it's fine. So let me refresh my page. Whenever I click on the side over here, kind of multitasking, I tend to get messed up on my browser there. So let's see.
Hey Nick, I'm locked, loaded, and ready to keep you from accidentally becoming exit liquidity. What's on the menu?
I had to refresh my page, but can you update the institutional levels for me? It's all web-based, guys. So if you get stuck or whatever, it could be your browser. Just refresh.
While you refreshed. With MNQ at 30,012.50, that institutional level at 30,026.97 is acting as your immediate overhead reaction zone and closest obstacle. So price is basically testing the ceiling right now. To the downside, your primary support and retest zone sits at 29,925.33, followed by the institutional pivot at 29,872.83 as a secondary reaction area. Keep an eye on those levels as the market digests the recent news, since we are essentially pinned in a range between that institutional support and the overhead wall.
So what I find interesting, guys, because remember, his short context was a rejection off the 24 with a sustained hold below 99. So what does that mean? I want to elaborate a little on that because I know that sometimes if you don't have experience in trading, that's what confuses people. So when you say sustain and hold, I want to see the market pull, tap it, give me some kind of absorption like it's doing now or on the last candle. Then I want to see a close below it, right? Like that. I want to see it showing that the sellers are interested in coming in. So if we are getting if we're getting pushes in and then you don't see the little DOM drops, the little price jumps, where if you see those drop, push, drop, push, drop, push, that means the sellers are defending it, and that's your confirm and hold. And so now we have the drop below that he said. We got the rejection off the 24. We got this. Now we have a doji. We have a absorption style candle. I want to close somewhere here, and then that will create acceleration. Anything else of that, right? It's just gonna be a fake out. So, but now we're kind of in that indecision area. So anything that closes below there will expand. Anything that closes above here is going to expand. And so let's see. Can you give me the buy and sell fractions? Just curious who's winning the battle on the retail side. Oh, I didn't even mark the new walls.
The retail battle looking a bit lopsided. The buy fraction is
He
sitting at
always says red. I can't fix
24.7%,
that for some
leaving
reason.
sellers with about 75.3% of the
I'm gonna
flow.
put this
MNQ
one.
is essentially arguing with itself inside an active order block right now, so that sell side dominance is more of a shoving match than a clean breakdown. I would wait for price to actually clear the range before deciding if those sellers have enough muscle to move the needle.
Okay, so I'm gonna update those institutional ranges. So he's got 12, 27, 925. Man, whenever he does that, when he throws out like some close levels and then he has these really far ones, they typically mean something. And then look at even lower, 872, but they did pull it up in all fairness. All right, so let's go up here, pull it like that. We'll pull them. So now we got our levels. But remember, see why I was saying typically it means something. And look at the attempt to pull it now. Yep, see the pull. You see that short setup? Anybody take the short? I was kind of trying to give the play-by-play for y'all. That hit, man, I literally had it set up where it triggered me in and then it dropped and triggered me out like pretty fast. I'm just taking scalps mostly because of the fact that we're ranging like that. But who got the short? Does that make sense, guys, on that? So where would your entry be? That's the question of the day. So remember, he said I wanted a push to the 24, which we did, and then we rejected. Then he wanted a hold below 99, which we did. Then it swept. Then it pulled. This was that doji area that we were talking about from within. This is our first conviction candle. So even if your entry was there, that would be your entry right around here. So that 984 or so. And then just trail it because, you know, you can't assume today's just going to go to the moon or fall to the floor because nice. Good job. And so we are just ranging and we're going to do that until we're not. And so remember I was telling you guys that structure, we'll see if it plays out because a lot of times it does this like one more drop. And if that one more drop, it should have gone lower. It should have gotten to about in here, about there. A lot of times actually it sweeps the low, but if it sweeps that low, then it reclaims it, then it usually ends up a trap and goes the other way. And so we'll watch that. But usually it sweeps a little lower. Look at that perfect rejection off the 74. I need to check my order here. I think that should be good. I'll put that there. I'll put it there. If it triggers early, it triggers early. Okay. Okay, good deal. How are you guys doing? I'm just kind of pausing a little bit because again, every time you take a trade, you should always take a little pause for the cause. So, yes, Scott. The reason why this happens is as retail traders, we tend to lean on the same play. And so you're gonna have the people coming into here that are just already with a deep bias of short, and we're gonna let's do this for a, a little exercise. So there's a lot of people that are gonna look at it, let's say the 15-minute, and go, "Holy cow! Like if I can get a short from here on a break." Then we do the lottery ticket math and we go, you know, even on 5 MNQ, this is thousands of dollars, and you know, you get super excited. But then you also have the other side of the spectrum that people say, no chance I'm shorting this thing with a 10-foot pull. I'm only long. And you're going to take the long expecting that we're going to break out like we did the last 2 days. And the beauty of that, which not so much for the people doing it, is more experienced traders know that typically when you get those pushes, you're going to consolidate. And so we're usually stuck with a, see, there's the sweep I was telling you about. We're usually stuck with, oh shoot, hold up. One of mine is already past what I needed. Apparently, I miscalculated that one to the good side. So, love it when the problem in this community is we make too much money. So, so the TP that he had was 872, I think. No, that was the institutional pivot. He had a lower one. It was like 840 something, but the institutional area was the 872. So, but again, you know, you get to where people are like, here it is, let me go short, and then it jumps up, stops you out. And then here it is, going to go long, and then it stops you out. And that's where you get wrecked in consolidation. So when you identify consolidation, it's fine. If you want to take that short to play the low, you just have to do it like up here. If you want to take the long to play the pump, you just got to do it down here. This is a fact, right? And then you're going to thank me later, because even on a consolidation day, you're going to make money. So where people get wrecked is you want to wait for that breakout. You're waiting for the candle, the trade. You know, I want that breakdown. Now, if you guys recall, what I'm wanting to see happen is I was watching this play here. Where is it? I think it was the 5-minute. Yeah, this is the one, remember we were talking about, where it kind of swept. That usually creates a lower low. So we did get a lower low from the context, but not the actual structure. So right there. So it should have swept 895, and it didn't yet. We are getting absorption to the north. See that? The little push on there. That's what I love about Heikkanashi. But it doesn't mean anything until we actually break above. So we need to get above, 30,030 or so and hold that, which is funny because it's right around that 30,025 he talked about. We got to stay above that. Anything short of that, this type of structure, when it does a climb like this with a sweep up, sweep down, typically creates a lower low, usually. So the only way it invalidates is if it breaks that 50. So now let's look at this one. Internally, remember I was telling you, so we did get the play. I was telling you, when we get this push here, usually from there we sweep that low. I was expecting it to get down to about where we got, a little bit lower. And so usually we'll sweep that low on the reclaim. If this thing can reclaim the overall 50% of the structure, so the high to the low, which is right there, 87, that is when you'll get your trap move to the 124. Notice we rejected on it like almost to the damn dollar. So that's a lot of the structural stuff that I teach guys in the mentor side. Even in the open session, I mean, I teach a lot more than most people do, I think, in the open session. But I go deeper into that within the mentor program side. Most of you, I don't know, how are you guys doing? Are you guys doing okay? I know if you're one that likes to be a breakout trader, you might be having a little bit of a tough day, but if you were patient and waited for Neo's levels, you're probably doing okay. Duff, you're killing me, Smalls. Yeah. Well, I know Duff. I know you love the breakouts more so that these are not the days for the breakout traders at all. These are the top and bottom ones until we get some kind of clear direction. So right now we're just kind of ranging. So this 809 level here, let me show you guys that quickly. If you look at the, what did we do? Why did we put that 809? Was that the I wonder if it was part of, no, it wasn't the fib. Dang, I don't remember why we put that 809 there. Let's look. We made it orange for a reason. Dang, I forget. Guys in the mentor program, do you remember why we did 809? So, if not, we'll delete it. I don't want to hold context on, I mean, there's some support from within the area. Maybe we're measuring this high here. Yeah, got another limitation. Oh yeah. Well, you've been trading a bit, Sky. You know the biggest thing that I'm gonna just pull it to that top of that line. The main thing I always tell people that separates an experienced trader from a new trader is, notice how I can sit here and do TA and I don't care where the price is going. I don't care. I can sit on my hands. And also knowing your things that you're good at. So, for me, I have some strict rules that I won't break. And so, for me, like I said in the mentor side of it, anything below the 30,077, I will not take a long. I've not taken one long. I've been only short today. So that's what I said right out the gate. And that's just my bias, until we break above. If we break above that, even with this 124 here, I don't care. I would let this thing go, hit it, reclaim my 77, and then I'm going to short the hell out of that. And if it never reclaims it, then I'll just leave it. So, on that. Maybe it was the 5-minute. Yeah, I don't remember where we... Guys, we do so much TA together in the mentor group. I mean, I feel like, guys, I spend more time with you guys than my own family. So we traded last night in Asia. I did not put it out in the TikTok guys because we had about 4 new people join into the mentor program, so we're really close to that 50. Anybody interested in do it? You might want to hurry because once that locks, guys, I cannot open it. I will not go past 50. But we had 4 more join in, and I like to do those sessions with them so I can kind of help them understand what we're doing, what we look at, the deeper pushes and things like that. So why the 30,077? So if you look at the high time frame here, don't just think about it as highs and lows, support resistance. It's structure that matters. So normally when we got this push here, I'll give you guys a little sauce here. So I teach something that's called a 3-tier play. So you have 1, 2, 3. When you get the 3rd tier that gets weak expansion and reclaims the low and the high, it gives a good expansion. I expected it to reject here because normally it's going to just bring you back to the prior high, but with the earnings, it just pushed it through. And so the next level from a structure perspective is going to be here, these two. Now these two become very, very, very critical to me, which is why I keep mentioning that with those, because when you look at the prior high here, notice how we had our low, low, and then we continued down through. But if you look at the actual overall play of this structure, this level right there is probably the most important of all this because it had deep resistance here that rejected us the first time really far. Like we went from around that level down to 28,954 all the way. Like it just dropped us pretty hard, after just a nasty push. It's also a level that when we pushed through it, we held it, that pushed us to the all-time high. Any kind of level that is your deep rejection with your all-time high push, that's the most important level on your chart. And so when you look to the right, you can see it was respected 1, 2, 3 times. So when we broke it, we swept it, broke it, bam, bam, and then that's the true catalyst that dropped us. So it's just structurally it's more important than anything else on your chart. So my suspicion, what I was telling those in the mentor group, is that if you put the lines back on, if you take a trend line, I don't do many trend lines, but I love myself some trend lines. I'm not an anti-trend line trader, but I don't really like trend lines right now, except for the ones that are on the high time frame, something that is really important structurally, because the low time frame trend lines, if you're a trend line trader doing low time frame, you've had a rough time. And so, but if you think about it, even in from a normal trend line structural break, we have a break, and we typically are going to come back and get a retest. Now, I find it kind of interesting because if you take this pivot to that retest, that actually puts us pretty close to about there, which is that's that 297 he talked about. So we could get up to the 297, but if we take a standard fib and we were to pull it from this low and assume that that's the top, the first pullback would be around 650, the golden zone right here. And notice the 50% would be right there. So we could kind of push here, dance a little bit, and then get a little descent back there. And that would just be a breakout retest of the trend line, which is a normal standard thing. But yeah, there's a lot going on in the world though, and you got, yeah, I sent that, yes, I'll take a look at the email. I sent you the notification too on that. So yeah, let's get together today if you got time. But there's a lot going on in the world, so everything can change. Between AI, the stuff going on in the Middle East, you got, the midterms. There's a lot of stuff that's going on. Another thing that's interesting, I just looked at, guys, too, is notice our trap and block on the 1 hour. This is your trap area. And you guys know all too well when it hits those trap areas, if you can't break it, which the high of it is like 89, they usually act pretty inverse. And so we'll see. You guys can see we did end up getting that secondary sweep. Something that's standing out to me a little here is we did get a push down with a pull, with a push down with a pull. We also had a little bit of an inverse head and shoulder. See that? Try to form right there on there, which invalidated. So that's our first bullish pattern that invalidated, which is important. Watch your lungs. Let me see. I was just doing some TA with the TikTok community here, but based on where the price is, what other institutional levels do we have below us? Do we have much farther we can drop? Let's see what he says.
I'm sure the TikTok community has plenty of opinions, but the market usually prefers listening to gamma levels over hashtags. With MNQ currently trading at
Little sassy pants.
29,899.25 and sitting below that 29,967.68 institutional pivot, we're looking at downside pressure for now. If this bearish continuation keeps legs, your next primary institutional liquidity target down is the 29,725.74 gamma wall. If that gives way, the major institutional floor is weighing down at 29,643.39. Just remember, these institutional zones are where the market likes to trap people. Price loves to sweep into them, bounce, and then decide if it actually wants to stay down there. Don't treat them as a guarantee, just as magnets where price might get choppy.
Okay, so we got that. Yeah, 967. I think I'm gonna move that one up because I'm gonna move this one to the 967 because he was saying that that is the institutional pivot, which usually means that's kind of his new line in the sand. So we're gonna delete this one on that. And so, but yeah, in theory, guys, we're starting a 1, 2, 3 leg extension. So let's just kind of, I'm just curious. So yeah, that could push us down into that low if it does. Let's look at the retracement pull. So we're rejecting there. Yeah. So if we kind of stay below this 382, 905, yeah, we should continue. Now, if we reclaim the 382 with conviction and we hold this area of support, then we'll come back up and test again. So I'm going to delete these just to kind of keep my lines clean. Again, once you're done with the trays, you know, just kind of delete them. I like to do the blue lines, you know, just because it reminds me what Neo's doing. So on that side. Okay. We'll just wait and see if this goes. Guys, we have 10:30. I'm gonna look at interesting. So I don't know if you guys use anybody out there uses my funded. I just got a really interesting email. So y'all might want to look at it. So I'm gonna definitely be looking at this one. I might get one. They just launched the rapid end of day drawdown, not intraday.
Yeah, I got that.
If you do the coupon code EOD when you click it, it's limited time only. Whew. End of day with rapid on daily payouts. Get out of here.
You know what also looks
give me
like they're
10.
trying to do away with flex too. Did you see that?
What?
It also looks like they're trying to do away with the flex plan too. Did you see that?
It
says that it's available. Get back on this
That's
page.
cool. Because that's the biggest thing that's frustrating as hell is rapid is amazing because you get daily payouts. I use a lot of rapid, and that intraday's a bitch sometimes, as you guys all know well, all too well. And so for you to have that at end of day is freaking money. That is cool. Yeah, I would capitalize on that, guys. That is to get daily payouts and end of day. That is insane. Yeah, I'll be looking at that. So, oh, I hit my TP on this other one, and I miscalculated about $30. Get out of here.
Was that Lucid you were talking about?
No, my funded. Yeah. That is legit, guys. I will eat that up all day. I want to see if we get this pull. So he was talking like 725 and all this stuff too. Again, you know, my lean is still short, but we're not really a confirmed breakout, if you will, from within that. So just be careful. But 725 is what he called, and we did get more extended targets down versus up, which tells me something. But let's I got a little distracted. I just happened to look over at my emails and I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna eat that up. They're gonna regret doing that one. So you guys know the mentor group, man. If I could deal through without having to play with this stupid intraday. But yeah, take a look at that, guys. Pretty cool. End of day on rapid daily payouts. Money. That's so good. Yeah, so good. So again, I don't know if you guys are in the short, you know, like I was calling earlier, it usually is, you know, when you break this kind of rounded top structure, you got the pull. Once this breaks through, you get the pull again. So the extension should get down to here. Now, here's where it gets tricky. This is where people get trapped. So you got to watch it. Is again, I teach this more detailed in my mentor group, but I like to give a little sauce to the open session here. So when you get a drop, if this drop ends up a half or weaker extension and it reclaims the low and the high, it's going to push back up to the top. That's what we just seen. And so you got to be ready for that. It shouldn't do that, but that's the trap, you know. That's the trap that they play out. So, hey Jody, glad you're traveling back, man. I know, I'm sure you've been itching to get back into getting back into the charts. But yeah, that's exciting. I'm gonna have to work on a couple additional evals in the pocket, I guess, for this one. But yeah, those that are here, let's take a little pause for the cause. I will move my chart over just so people can watch. And anybody who's in on TikTok that hasn't followed us, I'm gonna just give you a little what did you just watch? So our company is NextStepAlgo.com. Our link is in our bio as well, or in my bio for TikTok if you wanted to look there. When you come to the website, I know that it looks like a lot. We did the best we can to kind of simplify it. We do have other things we're working on that are going to make it way more simplified. And that is going to be support Neo, which I'll talk about in a second. But when you get here on the start here, guys, these are just tiles. You just click on them. So if you just look here, you really only need to look primarily at these options. What do you want to do? So what we've been talking to today is TradeVision Neo AI. You have start your 3-day free trial. All you do is you click it and it takes you to the TradeVision, which is where Neo is that I've been talking to. When you scroll down, you're going to see you have basic plan and pro plan. We do a free day. I don't know why I say it every time. A 3-day free trial. My mind going too fast there. And there's no strings. You don't link a card, nothing like that. You can get them, go in, talk to them, check on them. You don't have to have any experience in trading. You don't have to have any experience at all. You can be experienced. He has the full capability of teaching, you know, from knowing nothing to institutional context. The biggest compliment that I have is the amount of people who have 20 years, 15 years, even 30 years that are using him. So it's not about what you need or a pride thing or don't need. It's about why not use a tool that can make things so much easier, so you don't have to sit there and just you know, do all the deep TA that you normally do. So And if you do the TTA, that's fine, but why not have an extra layer of validation, if you think about it. So our TradeVision Basic with the coupon is $100 a month, and the Vision is Pro is $250 a month. So what is the difference? The differences are more user stuff. It's not logic. We will not dilute the logic. I promise you. The way we set this up, there's no way it's diluting the logic whatsoever. Because I don't want to ever appreciate it, Jody. I don't want you to ever feel like you know, he's better if you pay more. It's not about that. Why do we have the two different plans? So we were only going to do the 250 one. That was our goal because he's well worth that. If anybody who's in the trading industry knows, people pay anywhere from 100 to 200 bucks for indicators on your trading view. So with Neo, he's your indicator of sort where he's going to give you guidance, signals, trade management, develop you, teach you, validate things, validate your strategy. You can just get on and talk to him. It's like having a 24/7 mentor, if you will. And so, but we wanted to get a lower deal because we were kind of eyeballing that price of $100 because I figure if people are willing to pay $100 for an eval and break 5 of them in a day, it's not that bad to do $100 a month, for you guys for helping you not break those. So he has helped so many people. It's one of those you gotta see it to believe it. That's why I go live every morning on open session. If you are curious even further, you could always come down here, and we do have trading videos that links to our YouTube. This is our YouTube. You can see what he does every single morning. If you want to see the open session calls, you just click morning open session. It will open up and take you to the video. And again, it's one of those things you gotta see it to believe it, because I know there's a lot of sales pitching going on out there. There's a lot of people claiming to have AI that's not really AI, or it's not good AI. This is not AI that was built on my desktop from Claude. We appreciate it, Jody. And there's a big difference to it. So he was programmed by a good friend of mine of 30 years, who has about 30 years of programming experience. He's a phenomenal programmer, Alex. And so I'm not the AI guy. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I am. I'm the trader. I'm the kind of the visionary of what I want to see from it. And then damn near everything that I've ever thought of for him to build, he's been able to build it. And so it's pretty phenomenal. And so our AI is very different because we intentionally made them different. And so that's why when people come on and say, you can just make your own, guys, go do it, it's easy, I applaud you and say, give it a try. Let me know how it goes. I have some people, I don't know, some of you on here, if anybody's on here, you can chime in, but I've had some people who have their own Claude, their own AI they've created, but then they still get Neo to validate theirs, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, guys. Like, at the end of the day, you just want to win. We just want to be green. We want to learn. We want to develop. And if you can get that guidance, do it. So, but yeah, all you do, guys, is it's all web based. You don't have to do anything. Oh, thanks, Helly. Yeah. I remember you saying that about that on there. And but again, that's why we do the free 3-day trial. I want you guys to come in and try it. So, he is web based. So you could just go to the website, NextStepAlgo.com. Can't talk today. And then you just click on the one in here, the tile that says TradeVision. And then once you get to TradeVision, you'll scroll down and you'll see there's a red button. I think it's red in there that says, start your free trial. You don't link a card, don't do nothing. All we ask you is just to subscribe to our YouTube, which we're working on growing. So, but he's amazing. At the very least, I would suggest watch some of the videos of what he did throughout the day. You can fast forward through them, or just give me the follow and see. So I'm live every morning, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. We typically do our trades. I mean, honestly, most days we're done the first like 5 to 10 minutes from Neo's calls. So today was cool because we did a lot of chop from within. So if you listen to him right out the gate, he said, we're in store for a lot of chop today. And I'm going to go with the fact that, based on how we open, we did a lot of chop today. So you know, where we go from here, you know, we can kind of discuss that in a second, but explore the site, guys. You know, I know it's tough to see all this if you don't understand what it means, but um no, I did the one. I haven't tried to do any others, but I was gonna try to do some other, but I'm not sure. They might be getting overwhelmed with that thing. That's a freaking crazy good price. That's so ridiculous. That's so crazy. uh, I'll show you guys something in a second. Yeah, I'm sure they're getting overwhelmed with that. That's a freaking phenomenal deal. Uh, and so when you're in the site, like I said, click around. We have a lot of stuff within there. If you're looking for any additional mentoring, I will tell you this is closing in. I only have, I think, like 3 other people that are approved that haven't triggered. So our true number is right around 44, I think 45. Yeah, somewhere on there, 44. I'll have to look again. But once this gets to 50, guys, I can't do anymore. I won't. What you'll see on the website is you're going to see something that says, 50 out of 50 waiting list. And then you're going to see everybody on the waiting list. And then nobody gets in until somebody leaves. So if you are interested in some additional mentoring, you can't even sign up to it. I don't let you subscribe to it. You click on it, and then I will reach out to you, and we'll get on a call. I just want to make sure that I want to make sure that the program's right for you. So I want to have that discussion with you. And so if you do or you already have registered for this, just please watch for your emails. Sometimes it goes to spam as well because I've emailed everybody who's clicked on it. And so from there, it's just kind of first come first serve as far as getting approved and subscribing in that. Some people that did do it, I did send a notification, so look for your notifications if you're interested. But the space is running out on that. I will tell you guys the people that are in this 50, they know they're gonna get a lot of additional perks. There's a lot of things on the site that I do for them and I give and I plan to give that I don't talk about. And so, including the automated trading. So you guys have all seen how well Neo does each day. He's going to be trading for you guys at some point. And so once we come out with that portion of the watch list, which is not going to be very far out, so probably within a month, maybe 2, based on how we're going to do the testing. So they're going to have first dibs on that. And so as we scale it out. So if you're interested, check it out. If you wanted to do some kind of training additional, we do trading courses. If you know very little, or even if you have a little experience, this trading starter kit is free. It doesn't cost you anything. You guys can go in and talk to them. Then we recommend just go through lesson 1, 2, 3 across the way. That's our lessons that we're building. We have 52 that are already written. We're just kind of building it. 8 should be out soon. The first 8 is our kind of series, foundational. And I think you guys will like these courses. It's not the same as stuff that you've done before. When you open it, everything in our site is automated. So when I click on it like that, you can see I have a book. And guess what? When you open it, guess who reads?
Lesson 6.
Neo.
Market Structure 101. Chapter 1. Foundations of Institutional Market Structure.
So he's going to read it like an ebook. We do have another female voice in there that we did early on, and then we ended up pivoting it to Neo. So, but it is not a video, guys. This is a page. I can sit here and play with it. And so it's a little ebook. The beauty of all of our training is, guess who is incorporated to it? Neo. So I can ask him questions. So if I want to say, I am doing this lesson, and we're on the part where it says structure equals liquidity path. I don't know why, but I can't wrap my head around that. What does that mean? And I'm going to send it to him. And guess what he's going to do? He's going to tell you the answers of what he wants. And he'll explain it down to a 5-year-old if you tell him.
It is completely normal to find this shift in thinking challenging. Most of us are taught from day one that market structure is about drawing lines on a chart to connect highs and lows, so viewing it as a liquidity path requires unlearning some old habits. According to Lesson 6, Chapter 1, page 3, the institutional definition of structure is not a geometric pattern or a zigzag of highs and lows. Instead, structure is the path liquidity must follow for the algorithm to fulfill its objective. Here is the best way to visualize what that means. ###1. Structure is
Hash,
liquidity
hash, one.
engineering. In the
I'm gonna stop it just because TikTok tends to not like when when Neo talks too much. But that's our training. So our training courses are not expensive. They're like $30. Cody, I don't know if you're still on here. Cody, leave. Let's see. I always like to refer to Cody on this because I like to taunt him. Oh, he left. I can't even harass him. My so my wife who's learning to trade, she even as long as I've been trading, she just didn't really want to learn trading. And so now she's kind of starting to learn, and she just texts me saying that she's done for the day. And I'm gonna go with yeah. So that's her lucid funded. She made $4,300 today. And guess who she talks to all day while she's there? Neo. So she texts me. She's like, "Man, Neo was on point with those levels. I made 4,100. I'm done for the day. I'll take my payout." So that was awesome. She said, "Okay, thanks. I'm gonna stop because I'll overtrade it." Yeah. Let me just text her. Uh, that's awesome though. Man, she beat me because I was busy talking. I gotta step up my game, guys, in the afternoon session. Can't let that happen. All right. But that's our training, guys. If you're interested in joining in our afternoon sessions, so I want to clarify something because I get a lot of messages and DMs about this. The afternoon session that we do is in the mentor VIP session. That's when you'll see that light on. That session is a wide variety of things. It's not just options, it's not just futures, it's not just trading. I basically give my time from 11 to 1, maybe 2 p.m. lately, where if the market's good, we trade it. If it's good for futures, we'll trade it. If it's good for options, we'll trade it. Not as many people are doing the options, especially now that they're doing that single stock futures. And so we've been pivoting more futures lately in the afternoon. And so but if you want to do options, it's totally fine. We've just been doing like a correlation between the NASDAQ and like QQQ or something. And so it's really open to catering to whatever you guys want to do. Now, if the market is in an area like it was yesterday where I'm not interested whatsoever in trading it, then we just study. We're going to go through, I'm going to teach a few things, answer questions, help people get set up. It's just my way to give back some time for you guys. And so, if you're interested, the VIP pass, I don't talk a lot about this, but when we created our company, we decided that we wanted a kind of an unlimited pass, if you will, where somebody who wants to have access to all the stuff we create from now to the end of time. So you can see locked in future access. So whatever price you go in, that's the price forever. We'll never raise it. Guys, we build, so you guys can, when you have VIP, you don't pay for pretty much anything else on the site. So I think the only other thing that you would have to pay for is the trading lab, which is $5 for the sim, and that's just to put some skin in the game for you. But all the training courses we do, all going to be free. When we come out with the automated trading, that's the big one, guys. Those that are a mentor and VIP are gonna have first dibs at the automated trading because we can only roll out so many at a time for server purposes. We gotta test that. If you're on the VIP and the mentor, those will be the two that will get first access from within. And so the nice thing is I will tell you when we roll out automated trading, we'll probably have tiers. Depending how much you want to trade volume wise, from the tiers within. And so if you have VIP, it doesn't matter what the tier is. So on that, and so it's the VIP price that we have is a steal for you guys because if you're one that wants to trade big money with the automated trading with Neo down the road, that cost is probably going to be damn near close to what VIP is now, if not more. So, getting in at the price of VIP, you're not going to ever have to pay for that. It just stays that for you guys. So, if you guys have any questions about any of our plans, questions, mentor, any of that stuff, always please reach out. And pretty easy to get all of. Yeah, let me show you that. Somebody asked real quick, but again on TikTok, guys, let me know what you think on that. Your trap and block is going to show more because I turn off. If you go to, let me go to this other chart. It's a little easier to see. So when I go into my settings here, you are going to have the FVG bearish bullish in there. And so when that's on, you're going to see the additional like red and some green. It's not so bad right now, but I trade a lot on the 15-second, or I watch it, and if you get too much going on, it draws just way too many of them. And so I like to turn mine off. That's why it's different. But you can leave them on. They're good if you don't have other ways to look for that. But when you go to the settings, scroll down. If you don't want them, I turn them off like that. Because the primary thing for me is I just want these purple blocks. These purple, I mean, look at these guys. Like, these purple blocks are just absolutely phenomenal. That's the greatest thing on that part of the code that we created, that Paul did. Pretty good stuff.